안녕하세요, 여러분. Hi guys. My name is Stephanie, and I'm just a regular American girl who really likes Korean things. And so I thought I would kind of start video blogging about my love for Korea and everything, because I'll be going there next semester. I'll be studying abroad at Yonsei University. So if any of you know, there's like the top 3 schools in Korea. It's called like the Sky schools, and that's kind of the acronym for like Ivy Leagues equivalent in Korea. So most of the kids there try to get into those schools, which is Korea University for K, Seoul National University for S, and Yonsei University for Y. And so pretty much if you get into those schools, you're set for getting a job after that into like a really good company. But also it's really hard to get in there because everybody has good grades, and because studying in Korea is a pretty big deal. Everybody does it. You go to school, especially in high school. You go to school from like 7 in the morning. That's usually when like the class president or representative gets there. And then you have school till like 3 or 4. And then you also have Hagwon, which is like after school studying. It's kind of, sometimes it's mandatory, sometimes people don't go, it just depends. Most good students go, you know. But I'm not really sure how everything works there since I haven't been there. I've only heard about Hagwon, seen it in dramas. I watch a lot of dramas, so I'm sure that you'll hear more about that later. I'll probably make an episode for that. I just kind of wanted to start out telling you all about why I like Korean things, which I'll get into now, I guess. So I used to lead worship back when I was younger in college, and I was looking for a song to sing for one of our gatherings or meetings that week, and I wanted to sing Who Am I, which is by Casting Crowns, I believe. But at the time I thought it was by Shane and Shane, but I couldn't exactly even remember who Shane and Shane was. So I only remembered an S. And so I put in on Google, Who Am I, S, and a bunch of other things came up before this, but I was in a rush, and so I scrolled down really fast, and there was a picture of, at the time I didn't know who he was, but it was Choi Chesiwon from Super Junior. And he had a coffee cup in his mouth, and it was really cute. And so I clicked on that video because I just needed the lyrics so I could practice. And then I realized that wasn't somebody that was, the person that was singing wasn't an American person because the intonation in their voice was just different. And so I looked up who was actually singing that in that video, and it was Jeshuan, and he was singing when he was in Super Show 2. Yeah, I remember things like that, sorry. And then that's when I became really curious into why this man was singing that song at a concert. And so I looked him up, and he was really intriguing to me because it seemed like he was a pretty big star and he was singing a Christian song. And to me, the fact that you could have that much passion and bravery, because it's not easy, I feel like, to be a Christian singer, let alone idol, which is what they call Korean celebrities, if you aren't already aware. I'm sure that probably some of you already know all this stuff, but I think it's a good thing to not assume that everybody knows all these terminologies that a lot of the fangirls and K-poppers know. And I think I want to try and debunk some of the crazy K-pop fangirlness of everything, because even though I would definitely describe myself as a fangirl, I would hope that I don't come off as a crazy fan and crazy person to all of you. But I could be wrong, and I'm perfectly okay with you thinking that I'm crazy. But yeah, so back to my story. So I looked up Cheshuan, and he was a part of the 15-member boy band Super Junior, and that was really interesting too because there was a ton of members. And when I first saw their music video, I thought I was never going to know all their names because they all looked the same to me, and I thought I was just overwhelmed. And they were really, really handsome. I think that Korean men are very, very handsome. So yeah. So yeah, I fell in love with Super Junior by watching lots of old videos from them, and luckily a lot of them are subtitled. Some of them are, which is really tough, but had to make do. And yeah, I learned a lot about Korean culture through that. And Korean people, to me, are really warm and really friendly. And I love the aspect that they keep of tradition. I love that they incorporate a lot of the traditional, whether it be like buildings right next to like modern buildings, like the Samsung building right next to like some hanbok kind of village or something, or like a traditional looking building, or whether it be just like the traditional mindset of keeping elders at a priority, stuff like that, using 존댓말, which is like the polite form with older people, and 반말 with younger people. So that just kind of like the traditional stuff that they do. I really like traditional dramas and stuff like that. I like the dress, the old like hanbok dresses, and like the hats they wore and stuff like that. So it's really interesting to me, and I've always kind of been into like Asian things, and so it's not really unusual for me to be into Asian like traditional things, but specifically getting more involved with Korean traditional things is maybe, I guess, a new, well, a year or two new thing. So, but yeah, that's why I got interested in it. So Cheshuan, thank you. I'm sure you feel very loved that I love Korea now and that you were the start of it. So thank you. Plan to marry you someday, so I'm sure that will definitely happen. But yeah, so I love Korean culture. I like making Korean food. I'm sure I'll make a little special about that someday. But yeah, and if you guys have any questions, I am more than willing to answer them. But today is just a little introductory video, so I hope you guys like it, and if you guys have any ideas or have any other requests for episodes that I can do. I know a lot about Korean culture, and I'll probably make some rants about stuff because I feel strongly about things, certain things. Even though I love Korean culture, there are some things that like really bother me. Just like with any culture, I mean, I have problems with American culture too. That's why I don't feel like I fit in here, but it's okay because I love Korea and South Korea. I mean, I probably love the North Koreans too, but Kim Jong-un has gotta go. We gotta help him out somehow. So yeah, 만나서 반갑습니다. 안녕 여러분. 잘 자요.